All right, back at it then. Hope everybody had a good weekend, has had a good weekend so far. We are hopefully going to be able to, first and foremost, sell this loot so we can stop moving at the speed of old man, right? It's going to be the first thing. So to recap yesterday we kind of discussed a lot of the Dunmer temple lore as we entered a temple that had a lot of good deep diving for books to read, and explored kind of the medium of Seyda Neen. Now we're going to finish Seyda Neen today, and I'm guessing by the thumbnail, I don't fucking know, but very likely that we're going to be heading toward Vivec, and I'll change the thumbnail if not, but looks like today is going to be Vivec, the City of Swords Day, which is one of the largest cities in the East, and I can't wait to get there, but we got a couple of mysteries to still wrap up as far as Seyda Neen goes. We're going to get a little bit more in depth into how the Grand Pharos Lighthouse stays lit, despite the limited supply lines in Vardenfell. We want to explore a pretty easy question, but we're going to also explore that, which is how the fuck does this place get its food and its water? Well, actually, right there's the first answer to our mystery. There's a well. Because you're not going to really be drinking that seawater, that swampy seawater. So at least in modded Morrowind, it has a well. Makes sense.
What is it, sir?
Please have money.
Trade house. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small.
He does not have money yet.
How delightful.
Damn. It's okay. We're not ready to leave Seyda Neen yet, which means we're just going to have to do a dump. Have to do a loot dump. That's one thing I am very excited about, is to get to a town that isn't a one-horse town, one-merchant town. Welcome in, Moscow. What's going on, buddy? Alrighty. Let's just say hidey-ho and toss this loot, shall we? The hell out of here. I cannot wait for a strength level up with this cat. We're gonna have to get rid of that skooma anyway to do anything. We got a lot. We're gonna have a lot of shit to sell by the time old boy reloads. I'll tell you. That's pretty much it for the significant weight, isn't it? So we'll still throw some of this down. Get all this shit gone. Those are too useful. We're going to keep those. And we're keeping the Race Wedding Dowry. That's another one of my favorite books. We're keeping it. We read through that one yesterday. And we do need to read Surefeet of Thieves at some point. That's another really good story, guys. Oh, and the pillows. I swear to God, we're going to have a lore video discussing the gravity of Nern. 1 pound. 1 pound pillows. The rubies and the emeralds weigh 1/5 of a pound, man. Something's up. Oh, shit. There we go. Alrighty. So we've solved this quest, but we've got another request for help from a fisherman named Skycrest and a diver. So Skycrest has asked us, Zoo, have you never seen an old pillow before? I have a hard time thinking they weigh a pound, but maybe send me a link to that. I would be very curious to see a pillow that weighs that much. That's wild. So I guess the answer is no. Those things have thick fabric and usually aren't stuffed with feathers. Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Did shirts also weigh 2 pounds each? And pants weigh 2 pounds? I think it's the gravity. I suspect it's not like a technicality. I suspect it's the gravity. Unless you're on. Yeah, maybe if it's like workout clothes, they're weighted, right? But, man. Woo! Okay, so we promised Skycrest. I'm not seeing where we did it. And we also have to talk to Fargoth, because Fargoth's going through it right now. He is absolutely sick of everybody walking on him. And I don't blame him.
This scent is new.
I do own a pillow that I think weighs about a pound. Oh, that's awesome. You gotta send me a pic. That's crazy. I guess it's possible, especially when you talk about, like, the old materials, right? Not a problem, Vernus. Yes, so we talked about this. I can't find your quest, though, buddy. I can't find your journal entry. To remind exactly what you're wanting us to do here. Oh, there it is. It's got lost in the sauce on the other one. Finemouth and Seyda Neen asked me to find his friend Skycrest, who may have been captured by slavers and being held on an island west of Seyda Neen. So west of Seyda Neen is where we are headed. That's where we're going right now. Kind of cool. And like we talked about a little yesterday, so slavery is legal in Morrowind. And that means that a lot of these folks smuggle slaves that they should not be smuggling, because a lot of these people being enslaved are actually free imperial citizens. Is, again, never specifically explicitly spelled out, but that is what we can take from, because you do have slaves openly on plantations. Wait, I don't really weigh my pillow. Well, of course, yeah. But you know a pound. I mean, you know a pound. So I'm assuming that if you're saying it weighs a pound, I'm assuming you're right. You can feel a pound versus a not pound. So that's wild to me. How old is that pillow? Oh, that's true because of metrics. Yes, we use kilograms here. Yeah, sometimes conversions can be a little rough, right? That's why Google is a miracle, though. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that when you do conversions like that, whether it's temperature conversions, whether it's weight conversions. Oh my God, are you serious, dude? So it's already bad enough that we use something new. Now you guys use yet another new thing. Oh, jeez. Damn. I'm sorry. I wouldn't even know how to do that then. Like Google. I guess Google's my best friend on that. Well, Bethesda has admitted that everything is to scale in its world. So, walking from Seyda Neen to Pelasian would be many, many miles in a real-life world. I'm assuming the weight is to scale, too. It's definitely a mystery worth unraveling. I think it's interesting. Also, what system we use depends on what you are measuring. Okay. Oh, so it's not some abominable mix of both. It's sometimes you use imperial, sometimes. Okay, got it. That's better. Alcohol is an imperial, but liquids in metric. Gotcha. Okay. No, I feel you there. That makes more sense. Yeah, you were scaring me. Teach it in school is one system, though. Got it. Okay. No, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. It's time for the dreaded slaughterfish swim. Is what it's time for now. And I say dreaded because, honestly, these things might be worse than cliff racers. They might be. They're so bad. So, what is a slaughterfish? It's a large, aggressive fish. It's got sharp teeth. It's found in pretty much everywhere in Nern. Here's a fun fact. They even have slaughterfish in other realms, like, say, Cold Harbor, that in some ways emulate Nern. You'll also find slaughterfish there. They are almost always found in packs. You can't step a single solitary toe into the water without the entire population just swarming you. Now, they do tend to prefer what we call foul waters, so waters that are a little nastier, but they can pretty much thrive in any aquatic environment across Tamriel, everywhere from lakes to rivers to underground caverns to oceans. They're just nasty. We don't like slaughterfish at all. We don't stand slaughterfish at all. They suck. And you're about to see why. Let's dive in. Let's see. When I was younger, my teacher taught us units of measurement for liquids and never explained the difference. Also, what is measured with what is completely arbitrary. Well, that's the fun fact about all things in power. It's all arbitrary. Everything is arbitrary. Yeah, literally stepped 1 foot in the water. Already 3 attacks. Already 3 attacks. And these motherfuckers are annoying because they just waste. They utterly waste your weapons enchantment. They can really help you out in fights. And they just waste it. Like another certain creature I know and are going to discuss. This might be the longest I've ever swam without a slaughterfish attack. Not gonna lie. This is pretty groovy. Oh, we have a tomb. Ceres Ancestral Tomb. That's not what we're here for. But we will mark that for later. And here's the bandit cave that we're pretty sure they're at. Now we're built a little bit more survivably this time. We have potions of health, and those potions heal you. Although we're going to have to get an upgrade on our water again. We're going to eat and drink. That way we're fully battle prepared, and we're going to take a chill pill real quick. We're going to relax while our stamina rebuilds. Fatigue is very important here in Morrowind. So. As mentioned last stream, if you fight ghast, you have a 50% negative roll to everything you do. It's devastating. Horrible. Go in. Let's rescue Skycrest.
I don't know you. What do you want?
A talkative bandit. You don't see that every day. Disarm him immediately, just in case he is still alive. We'll switch over to Bo. Tippity-toe, let's go slow. Damn you. The bullshit arrow dodge also exists in Morrowind. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't, guys. It absolutely does. It's not just a Skyrim problem. Boy, we are really squishy. Oh, the bullshit arrow dodge is also a Morrowind problem. That is not just a Skyrim thing. The bullshit arrow dodge, BS arrow dodge, absolutely exists here. We just gotta taste of some. The 1 pound pillow, awesome. Yeah, that's crazy town. 30 scuttle is so fucking insane. Or 20 scuttle. Oh my god. What an amazing find that is. That might be one of the best finds I've seen in a while. That's really good. That's actually really good. I'm also getting a pretty good roll on booze and stuff. Just found 2 pounds of beetle cheese. Yes. Good old Vivec City. Yep, we're heading that way. We will be there this stream. Sure will. Yo, bro, we getting out of the goon cave with this one. Yep, we are trying to get out of here. We gotta rescue Skycrest. Don't forget to check the canal works in the Ritteran Canton. That's probably gonna be at least 2 streams of exhaustive Vivec detail, I would suspect. Any Vivec mods in the load order? Yes. Where is that cave? We are in We are in Aharunardis. Aharunardis is where we are at currently. It's fucking names, man. Yeah, we're wrapping up Seyda Neen for now. But we will be in Vivec, so that thumbnail, at least for now, is not lying. We will be in Vivec. God damn you. Let's see. Sounds like a Dunmer Stronghold or some, the cave near Seyda Neen. Yes. Ashlander Cave, like most names in Morrowind. Oh, wow, that's lore I did not know. Ashlander named. That's very cool. So, yeah, FYI, guys, per Moscow, the caves, most of them have Ashlander names. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. Faux Assyrian nonsense is how one of the devs described it, I think. Very cool. Very, very cool fact. Feels Mesopotamian, it's a Chimera or Ashlander name. Yeah, if it feels, gotcha. Damn it, I don't want to turn on the restaurant oven. Pray for me. I am praying greatly for you, man. That sucks. We'll build a memorial to you, Pyro. Yeah, nobody wants to turn the fucking oven on. I totally understand that. Okay. Skycrest, you're the guy we're here for. Your friend Findmouth sent you. Oh, you must find the key to these bracers before I can be freed. Okay, so picking the lock is not enough. We are going to have to have this. We are going to have this fight. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay. Well, this is the guy we brought the dire frost arrows for. I was really hoping to avoid this guy. Orcs are very, very dangerous to a Squishy Thief character with the race mod I have. They automatically get a huge health boost and a huge resist damage boost. They're bad news bears. Orcs are probably the most dangerous race with what I have to deal with my chosen class and with my mods. Just so early, but we were supposed to be open in an hour. It's been a long week, up to 24 hours of overtime. I am not looking forward to this at all. Oh, God, I hope my sneak is really good. It is really good, but, man. You know what? We're going to save our fucking game right here. Oh, I already did. Okay, we're good. I want to make sure of that. Okay. Because there is no promises with this fight. None. Wasted one of my good arrows because of this goddamn fence collision. Alrighty. Yeah! That's what we're fucking talking about, and we got a book to read, Bone Part 1. Actual, real lore. Legitimate, awesome lore here, coming at you. We'll put aside his battle axe. Always bad news for thief characters. Yeah, it's only like 30 degrees here, and I still don't want to turn the cooker on. Yeah, it's just so early, but still, we're supposed to be open in an hour. It's been a long week, up to 24 hours of overtime. Damn. Getting paid overtime pay? Hell yeah, I took 2 of the good arrows and like 15 stabs. He didn't even have any armor on. Yeah, orcs are scary in my games. They're scary as hell. They're very, very scary. Let's hope we don't have to fight an orc who's actually got gear. Oh, buddy. That's coming. I promise. And there's the slave key that our big strong boy was guarding. Take that. That's pretty valuable. The rest of this is pretty eh. Pretty eh. Oh wow, we are at our limit already. Okay. Clothes are so heavy. Clothes are so fucking heavy in this game. It's pretty insane. And they're not worth that much, honestly. I'd rather have what tiny little bit of mobility I actually have. Oh yeah, Umbra is going to be fun. The Umbra fight is going to be so fun. I'm going to free some other people first, and I'm going to get you, Skycrest. I do. Here you go, Olenshy. And Badrana. You're free. And Kishni. Are you not one of the slavers? Will you find the key and let Kishni go free? These bracers. Oh, she's voiced. Kishni's fur. Yeah, here we are, Kishni.
Kishni?
Yes, free Kishni.
Kishni must get back to Vivec. Meet Kishni there. And Kishni's husband will be.
Okay, so if we go to Vivec and we meet Kishni there, we're going to get rewarded for this slave free. Very cool. Same with you, Aravi. Yeah, I get paid overtime, which is, yeah, you should. You're going to be working that much. You absolutely should be.
Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free?
Absolutely, buddy. And
Free? But where will I go? The slavers took everything. Can you lead me to find out?
yes,
In Seyda, Neen?
that's where we're going.
Let us travel together to find Mouth's hut.
Good old Fine Mouth. And Ariel should have restocked his gold by now. Alright, chat, got to dip for a while. Mom coming over to visit, and I need to make my living room look somewhat presentable. See you all later. Hey, we've all been there. Take care, buddy. Thanks for coming in. But you will find caves like this all over Morrowind. Just look at how many dungeons is just in the Seyda Neen area. It's pretty intense. We want to stick to the same path to try to avoid slaughterfish bullshit. And he can water walk, so we're good. Wait, can I water walk? I think I actually can. Can I fucking water walk? No, I can't. Feather and open is what I started with. Okay. Because I'm a thief type character. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. I guess we probably ought to use that feather, huh? Well, we're not that good at magic yet, so I guess not. We can try. Ain't gonna hurt to try. Oh my god, no, he's fighting the mud crab. Oh, Jesus. Come on, dude. Okay, here he is. Unrelated news, I gave EVE Online a reinstall. Found out I have 160 million ISK. And some battle cruisers. My favorite is the Naga, has 8 Gauss cannons. Sniping PvE ships 141,000 kilometers away. God damn. Right where you left off, huh? That's awesome, man. Oh, we gotta train this boy's athletics up, chat. It's bad. Everybody can now see what 5 athletics looks like. Even with 50 speed. We're building that muscle back up, though. It just takes time. It just takes time. Forgot how much time I sunk into it, Lamau. I have items and ships all over the damn place. It's a mess. I took a hauler and loaded up 3 stations worth of shit back home port. Pyritosa says, yeah, that's a lot of stuff, man. It's a long time to be gone. So does stuff still accumulate in that game while you do? I just want to point out that normally we don't get this lucky. It has rained the entire time that we've been in the Bitter Coast and Seyda Neen, and I kind of love that, not going to lie. It really matches the thematics in a way that I'm very happy with. Like, it has literally rained in this region the whole time we've been here. Unrelenting rain. And if you think about it, that's kind of how swamps should be, so I'm not mad at it. I'm not at all. Don't run ahead, I'm an archer. Dummy. You dummy. Yeah, I'm not new. I've played over 2,000. Yeah, I never said you were new, Pyro. I've played over 2,000 hours, pretty active. I know once you get to the higher levels on skill training, it can become... Yeah, it's obvious you're not new. It can become an AFK game. I'm not sure what AFK means. I'm old. I don't know all the lingos. Just an old man. Just an old man with a scuba and a drinking problem. Hello, Elder Fire the Liar. How are you today? Oh, skills training in real time. Gotcha.
Piece of the night.
Fresh game.
That's all right, Vernus Davros. You're not interrupting anything important. What can I do for you? Well, I found Skycrest.
You found Skycrest.
I did.
This is wonderful news. It looks like he has something he wants to give you.
Nice. Well, you don't have to give me anything, buddy, but I appreciate it.
Enough, and the slavers took what I had. But I want you to have these pants. No, I insist.
Okay.
I have another pair, and I have kept these well hidden in my confinement. They may be worn, but still have a little enchantment.
And what he gave us is the soggy pantaloon sounds ridiculous.
I have no need to travel now that I am here with fine mouth.
But this is an incredible thing, actually. So what the soggy pantaloons do is it's water walking for 15 seconds on self. Which is, for traversal, one of the best enchantments you can possibly have. It's very good. And we're over encumbered. We got to drop more shit now. So we're going to drop that there, and we need to really hope to fuck. It's 5 p.m. now. So we really, really need to hope that Ariel has reloaded his gold. We really need to hope for that.
May I help you?
Athletics keeps on training, though, and that's good.
Welcome to Ariel's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit.
Yep, gold's
You want a
back.
little
We're good.
advice?
We're in
That's
business
free.
again.
That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions? Our most popular scrolls?
Oh, look at all that money we got from that scuttle. That's great. Yeah, anytime you see scuttle, it's a good find because it's got a low weight and it's got a fairly decent amount of coin they throw you for it. What you need, a mysticism high dollar house Telvanni teleports. Yeah, we're gonna get there eventually. I am a mysticism guy too, so yeah, we definitely gonna get there eventually. We're gonna be traversal's one of the things I really made this character long term for. So right now he's a slow old guy like me. But over time, we're going to really get into the, we're going to really get into the fun of things here soon. Yeah, now with the reduced risk of Cronenberg body dismemberment, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to fly to get into the transport pod, right? I think we're going to drop the shield, because we're not that good at shielding anyway right now. And it's such a... We need to find a lighter shield. We just do. So I think that's the next drop. Take these gigantic pillows. We'll take the scrolls. There we go. We're keeping that stuff there, so we're keeping all this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that other silver short sword. We might as well.
Welcome to Ariel's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions? Our most popular scrolls?
No. As usual, no. Just offloading some baggage, buddy. That shield's just too heavy and we just don't use it enough. We gotta get out from under it, guys. Hate to do it, but gonna do it. This fucker's only... God, he runs out of gold so fast now. We're gonna have to move towns. We're just gonna have to. We're making too much money for this chump. Let's see here. Alright, yeah, 81 is much better than over 100 with the shield. It's much better. 3,000 gold. Not a bad haul for not even leaving town yet. Alright, our friend Fargoth seemed distressed. Let's talk to him.
If there is anything I can do, I am humbly at your service.
Someone stole from me again. They're all against me, Vernus Davris, but not you, right? You're my friend. I know it. Someone needs to clean up this town. Someone needs to stand up to these bullies. I need someone to tell them. Fargoth says hello.
I don't have a hiding place, at least not anymore.
Okay. What are we doing, buddy? Vidunius, Nucius. He keeps saying he's going to leave town, but he never leaves. Always lurking near the pond, peeking around the tree. Why won't he leave? Is it because he's the one stealing from me? Get him off my back, friend. Make him pack his bags and go. And if he won't, if he refuses to leave me alone, you'll just have to kill him. We're not killing anybody, buddy. But he's gone. You talked him into leaving? Well, that's good. Good, yes, good. You deserve a little something. Something from my secret hiding place. And when you're ready, there's someone else who needs to hear the words, Fargoth says hello. It's a little unhinged, buddy, I'm not going to lie. There's someone else who steals from me, bullies me, not in person, no, but with the power in the shadows. She sends her agents out to steal what's mine. Hriskar and Vidunius are just taking her orders. Who owns Seyda Neen anyway? The Empire? Ha! But they make everyone pay. Do the Halalu steal from me? Does the Sylvanar demand I pay tribute? Do the trees and mud crabs collect taxes? No, only Adraria Vandacia does. Adraria. Even her name makes me angry. You're my friend, right? My true friend? My only friend. You would never betray me, would you? Find her in the census warehouse. Give her this Masta if you like. I made it myself. Before Adraria dies, before she draws her last greedy breath, make sure she knows Fargoth says hello. So, we're not going to do this. Kill her for me, my friend. Yeah. We're not going to do that. We didn't agree to that. He's forced that on us. The only reason we did the first one is because we had already done it. So we are going to let Adraria know to watch out for this weirdo.
I'm on duty. Go ahead.
And that he's spiraling and crashing out. Oh, is this the Fargoth Revenge mod? Yes.
Let's hear it.
Now again, there's a whole totally different quest chain if you don't steal from him again. But if you steal from him, it causes this spiral, right? Fargoth says hello. Fargoth, the little Bosmer, tell him I said hello too, I guess. Yeah, you need to watch out for this guy. What? I barely know him. I'll ask the guards to have a word with him. Here, take this, a finder's fee. And just ignore anything else he asks you to do. Perfect, and we got paid for that. That's what we like to hear. And hopefully he calms down. Don't worry, we'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, there is a very troubling trend of Bosmer getting paranoid and killing everyone around them. So definitely worth a watch. I was going to say, I hope they don't take him out of the game world.
What do you want? Don't bother trying to rob me. The Imperials have taken everything anyway.
You did what? You're one of them, aren't you? Stay away from me. Okay, good. I don't want a world without Fargoth. That, to me, is just the biggest tragedy of all. So what else did we have to do here? We need to do the lighthouse. She had something she wanted help with. I'm hoping we can make it to 4K by the time we leave. That would be really cool.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's Kuru there, cannibalistic. Yes, they are.
Anything important? What can I do for you? Are you looking for some specific place in Seyda, or just looking for a little advice?
I'm actually here about that lightwood you asked about.
Alchemists have another name for it, but we commoners just call it light wood. It burns longer and brighter than any other wood. Usually the monthly supply ship brings some, but this month it brought 2 prisoners instead. And Celis won't let me burn them.
Wow!
I can use regular wood, of course, but I have to climb the stairs a dozen times a night to refuel the fire.
That's good exercise for your legs, though.
I heard from a traveler that there is an Ogrim south of Pelagia, just east of the road there, who claims to have light wood.
An Ogrim.
And will give it to anyone who solves some kind of riddle. If you are willing to go there and get the wood, I will try to think of some suitable reward.
Yeah, we'll go talk to this Ogrim.
Good luck. Like I said, the Daedra is south of Pelagia, or so I heard. That's a village just up the road north. Head out of Seyda Neen past the Silk Strider and keep going north until you see the Ogrim. It's just before the road branches to go into the village. The Daedra is waiting for someone next to a pond, allegedly.
Okay, well that's a very strange ask, but we can do it. That's fine. And this is going to be our first time out of the Bitter Coast, folks. We might even get a glimpse of where we're going to be going later on this stream, which is the Vivec City. Oh, there's the silhouette of old Ebonheart through the fog. You can see it. Or not old Ebonheart, but new Ebonheart. Ebonheart on Vardenfell. More on that later. So we're now leaving the Bitter Coast, which is a swampy terrain, and we're getting close to the land of the living god, the Ascadian Isles, which is a lush, gorgeous region, relatively safe because of its proximity to Vivec, and the roads are very well traveled here. This is probably one of the most popular. This is the most populated region of Vardenfell, bar none. The good old Ascadian Isles. And we're looking for an Ogrim. South of the village of Pelagian, which is up there. And we're to the south, so there he is. He's right there. Let's go talk to this dude. But we're not heading into the village proper yet. Hello, sir. You're real big. I'm going to read this because it's the volume on the audio recording on that voice work is so low. You probably didn't hear a word of that. Come, the Vare, answer Lord Coxwall's riddle. You man thing, not the Vare. Haha, you answer anyway. Okay, here's the first riddle. Wait, you said riddle, not riddles. So? Fine, give me the first riddle then, damn it. Okay. The kind of coat that is always wet when you're wet, and you put on the wet coat. What kind of coat you put on to get wet? A raincoat? Maybe. Okay, next riddle. I forget what Lord Coxswath said, but I know one. How many alchemists does it take to screw in an alembic? One, it's easy. No, that's not right. You messed it up. I can hit you now. No, wait, one is the right answer, buddy. Maybe it's best we just go to the last riddle. 3 chests, pick one. 1 treasure, 1 nothing, death by tiny cuts. That's not a riddle either, dude. Okay, weird guy. I'm going to guess the one on the right. No, now I don't get to beat you. Yep, I got the Lightwood. Alrighty. Well, that was a very surreal experience, wasn't it, guys? So, what you just witnessed was an Ogrim. Typically, they're servants of Malakath. And that is a Daedra from Oblivion, is what that is. So, we talked a little bit yesterday about the Outer Realms, the Realms of Oblivion. Ogrims and Malakath servants hail from the Ash Pit, it's called. The Ash Pit is a realm where you can't even breathe the air. You basically need spells to breathe, like spells of water breathing, essentially, to even breathe there. And it's a very nasty place, but that very few mortals have actually been to. So it looks like we can't get in this ancestral tomb. And I also can't read the note for whatever reason. Very strange. Okay. All right, well. We've got other stuff to do anyway for now. There's nothing more beautiful than this game's art style put up against the silhouette of a sunset background. Nothing. It is so pretty. It is so unbelievably pretty.
Glad to help. What can I do for you?
I'm back with your Lightwood. Very weird encounter we had, though.
Did you find the Daedra? Or the wood?
Both.
Yes, this will save me so many trips up the stairs the next few weeks. I tried to think of a suitable gift and settled on this Quama Miner's belt. It isn't quite as good as carrying your own lighthouse around, but I hope it serves you well. The Ogrim referred to me by name? How very odd. What a mystery. What a shame it will never be solved.
So, speculation there, guys. Now, we know that there's alchemical lightwood that's used for these lighthouses. That's why it makes it easy to keep them lit at all times. And you don't have the problems that you would have with, say, lighthouses here in ordinary, regular world. So they have this magic alchemical lightwood. And for some reason, she didn't get her supply. Now, she mentioned they won't let her burn the prisoners. So I'm going to give you a theory. This is only a theory. This is headcanon, speculation. I think Vivec made a pact with that Daedra. I think she summoned that Daedra in order to get the Lightwood. I think she made that pact. And then I think she got cold feet. Because she's also a Dunmer, probably a loyal temple worshiper. And knew that she was summoning one of the four corners of the House of Troubles. That's just speculation. But it is, I think it's good speculation, and it adds really interesting dynamic to an otherwise forgettable character. It adds layers, right? Because now she's a character who dated an Imperial, which is typically not something that would be very well looked upon in Dunmer society. And despite being a loyal lighthouse keeper, now she also may have cavorted with one of the four corners. Very cool stuff. I like it. It's headcanon. Can't prove it, but I think the speculation is very good. Especially the evasive way that comes across. The Ogrim referred to me by name. How very odd. What a mystery. What a shame it will never be solved. Typically speaking, the way that the writers of Morrowind wrote, when you would have wordplay like that, it typically signifies a character that is not telling you everything. Very cool. And of course, this particular mod was written by Douglas Goodall, which was a former writer on the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. So, Douglas Goodall knows the writing cadence and knows the structure of the he knows all this stuff. So I suspect that she actually, in a desperate gambit to not have to march up those stairs constantly, I think she asked for Lightwood. I think she asked for Malcass help there. Or at least one of his lesser Daedric servants, Lord Quilksfall or whatever the fuck his name was, right? All right. I think we've basically done most of the low-level quests here. There's one more that we need to explore. We'll go talk to him now. And then we'll finish that up tomorrow. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done. We know how the Grand Pharos keeps its flame. We know the history of the Grand Pharos Lighthouse. We know the history of Seyda Neen. We're about to find out where it gets its food. Spoiler, it's already been spoiled. It's fishing. It's fishing, guys. They feed themselves by fishing.
What is it, Seyda? Nice day, isn't it? The weather could be better, but it's always a fine day for fishing. My bad knee isn't too bad today.
A fine day for fishing, you say?
Yes, it's a fine day for fishing. It's too bad I never stopped. Say, would you do an old milk and bring me some crab? 6 horseshoes should be enough.
Yeah, I can get you some crab meat. Not a problem. There's plenty of crabs all along the coast to the west. I'll need about 6 handfuls for bait. I'm going to read this because it's very low. I used to love hunting mud crabs when I was a boy. Hit them around the waist and just walk away just a little faster. It seems a bit cruel now that they run faster than I do. We're going to do some audio channeling here. Because if I can't hear him, I know you guys can't fucking hear him. So we're going to take music down a little bit more. Or we're going to take voices up is what we'll do. There we go. That probably solves that, actually. So we're going to go to sleep, and we wake up, we're on a mud crab hunt. And it's 9 p.m., so we still got some time to burn. We'll go back to our bed and we'll read Surfing of Thieves. Because our bedtime's not till 11 o'clock. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab something to drink. And get some chicken nuggies on. And then we'll be back to read Surfing of Thieves and hit the hay for the next day. Be right back. Alright, and we're back. Alrighty. So what we got here, it is now 10 p.m. So yeah, by the time we get done reading. So we've got a couple of books we can read, guys, and explore some lore on. Both are going to be Morrowind lore. One is going to be a future dungeon location. And by the way, I know it's only 10:47, guys. What you just heard was not a beer. It was a Diet Pepsi. I promise. So we can either read Bone Part 1, or we can read Surfeit of Thieves. And I will let the chat do a first blood answer. So first person that puts something in the chat on which book they want to read, that's what we'll read. What's it going to be, guys? I'm going to eat one of my delicious Cheddar Bay biscuits while I wait. Alright, Cheddar Bay Biscuit is done, and the chat has indicated no preference, so we're going to read Surfeit of Thieves. It looks interesting, said Indic, his eyes narrowing to observe the black caravan making his way to the spires of the secluded castle. A gaudy alien coat of arms marked each carriage, the lacquer glistening in the light of the moons. Who do you suppose they are? They're obviously well off, smiled his partner, Hariah. Perhaps some new imperial cult dedicated to the acquisition of wealth? Go into town and find what you can about the castle, said Indic. I'll see if I can learn anything about who these strangers are. We meet on this hill tomorrow night. Hariah had two great skills: picking locks and picking information. By dusk of the following day, she had returned to the hill. Indic joined her an hour later. The place is called Ald Oira, she explained. It dates back to the Second Era, when a collection of nobles built it to protect themselves from one of the epidemics. They didn't want any of the diseased masses to get into their midst and spread the plague, so they built up quite a sophisticated security system for the time. Of course, it's mostly fallen into ruin, but I have a good idea about what kind of locks and traps might still be operational. What did you find out? I wasn't nearly so successful, frowned Indic. No one seems to have any idea about the group, even that they were here. I was about to give up, but at the charter house I met a monk who said his masters were a hermetic group called the Order of Saint Iaduna. I talked to him for some time, this fellow named Parathian, and it seems they're having some sort of a ritual feast tonight. Are they wealthy? Asked Hariah impatiently. Embarrassingly so, according to the fellow, but they're only at the castle for tonight. I have my picks on me, winked Hariah. Opportunity has smiled on us. She then drew a diagram of the castle in the dirt. The main hall and the kitchen were near the front gate, and the stables and secured armory were in the back. The thieves had a system that never failed. Hariah would find a way into the castle and collect as much loot as possible, while Indic provided the distraction. He waited until his partner had sealed the wall before rapping on the gate. Perhaps this time, scaled the wall. Perhaps this time he would be a bard or a lost adventurer. The details were most fun to improvise. Haraya heard Indik talking to the woman who came to the gate, but she was far too away to hear the words exchanged. He was evidently successful. A moment later, she heard the door shut. The man had charm, she would give him that. Only a few of the traps and locks of the armory had been set. Undoubtedly, many of the keys had been lost in time. Whatever servants had been in charge of securing the Order's treasures had brought a few new locks to a fix. It took extra time to maneuver the intricate hasps and bolts of the new traps before proceeding to the old but still working systems, but Haraya found her heart beating with anticipation. Whatever lay beyond the door, she thought, must be of sufficient value to merit such protection. When at last the door swung quietly open, the thief found her avaricious dreams paled to reality. A mountain of golden treasures, ancient relics glimmering from untapped magicka, weaponry of matchless quality, gemstones the size of her fist, row after row of strange potions, and stacks of valuable documents and scrolls. She was so enthralled by all the sights she did not hear the man approach her from behind. "You must be Lady Tressid," said the voice, and she jumped. It was a monk in black, hooded robe, intricately woven with silver and gold threads. For a moment she could not speak. This was the sort of encounter that Indik loved, but she could think to do nothing but nod her head with what she hoped looked like certainty. "I'm afraid I'm a little lost," she stammered. "I can see that," the man laughed. "That's the armory. I'll show you the way to the dining hall. We were afraid you weren't going to arrive. The feast is nearly over." Harriet followed the monk across the courtyard to the double doors leading to the dining hall. A robe identical to the one he was wearing hung on a hook outside, and he handed it to her with a knowing smile. She slipped it on. She mimicked him as he lowered the hood over her head and entered the hall. Torches illuminated the figures within around a large table. Each wore the uniform black robe that covered all features, and from the look of things, the feast was over. Empty plates, platters, and glasses filled every inch of the wood, with only the faintest spots and dribbles of the food remaining. It was a breaking of a fast, it seemed. For a moment, Harriet stopped to think about poor, lost Lady Tressid, who had missed her opportunity for gluttony. The only unusual item on the table was its centerpiece, a huge golden hourglass which was on its last minute's worth of sand. Though each person looked alike, some were sleeping, some were chatting merrily to one another, and one was playing a lute. Indik's lute, she noticed, and then noticed Indik's ring on the man's finger. Harriet was suddenly grateful for the anonymity of the hood. Perhaps Indik would not realize it was she, and that she had blundered. "Tressid," said the young man to the assembled, who turned as one to her and burst into applause. The conscious members of the order arose to kiss her hand and introduce themselves. Nerdla, Swile, Kyler, the names got stranger, Tadiab, Hurlitz, Neuthrop. She could not help but laughing. "I understand it's all backwards. Your real names are Uldren, Celius, Relic, Poinwat, Stilrith, and Paratheon." "Of course," said the young man. "Won't you have a seat?" "Say," giggled Haraya, getting into the spirit of the mask and taking an empty chair, "I suppose that when the hourglass runs out, the backwards names go back to normal?" "That's correct, Tressid," said the woman next to her. "It's just one of our order's little amusements. This castle seemed like the appropriately ironic venue for our feast, devised as it was to shun the plague victims who were, in their way, a walking dead." Haraya felt herself lightheaded from the odor of the torches and bumped into the sleeping man next to her. He fell face forward on the table. Poor Yusuak Krisif," said a neighboring man, helping to prop the body up. "He's given us so much." Harriet stumbled to her feet and began walking uncertainly for the front gate. "Where are you going, Tressid?" asked one of the figures, his voice taking on an unpleasant mocking quality. "My name isn't Tressid," she mumbled, gripping Indik's arm. "I'm sorry, partner, we need to go." The last crumb of sand fell in the hourglass as the man pulled back his hood. It was not Indik. It was not even human, but a stretched grotesquerie of a man, with hungry eyes and a wide mouth filled with tusk-like fangs. Herrera fell back into the chair of the figure they had called Usurak Tassif. His hood fell open, revealing the pallid, bloodless face of Indik. As she began to scream, they fell on her. In her last living moment, Herrera finally spelled Tressid backwards. So, speaking of cannibals, Pyritosis, so the long short of this story, they tried to rob a coven of vampires, and it ended badly. Very badly. Very good story, though. Excellent story, and it is now time for bed. The fun part is that dungeon is going to make it into a future Tamriel rebuilt mod. I think in Redoran territory, you're going to get to explore that actual ruin. So very, very cool lore to come. They're going to draw right from that. That's going to be a mainland ruin in the northwest of Morrowind. Very cool stuff. And just as we're getting ready to leave Seyda Neen, the rain finally clears up, guys. That is something else. Now, we were asked to gather some meat. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to hunt. We're going to do mud crab hunting, so we need some arrows.
I suppose it is my duty to help those less fortunate.
And we're also going to need to cobble together a skinning knife, something we're going to want to have
Welcome
anyway
to
for our
Ariel's
adventure.
Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions? Our most popular scrolls?
No, thank you, my friend. Just the arrows. We're going to be hunting mud crabs today.
Welcome to Ariel's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potion? Welcome to Aril's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like...
And oh my god, I've been on mute this whole fucking time. We didn't miss anything, chat. I was just commenting on, usually it's easier to find wood than flint. But in this particular case, it was actually harder to find the wood. And I had to go buy it from a reel. That's pretty much the only commentary you missed. Oh, and the commentary on Tariel. So let's talk about that. We'll talk about Tariel. Tariel is he is a court wizard. So he's a somebody. And he died because he miscalculated, and the actual spell on the scroll runs out before he lands, which is why he died when he fell like that. Now, there are ways around that. There are ways that you can get around doing that, right? But the main thing to remember is that he is a court wizard, and he is going to come into play later.
Welcome to Aril's Trade House.
No, we don't need a reel. We need, we do need a reel. We're going to sell some of this stuff.
Welcome to Aril's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions? Our most popular scrolls?
No, thank you. No. I will take a repair hammer, though. We need a repair hammer. There we go. Okay. That was one of the worst rolls I've ever gotten for repairing equipment. Very funny. So here it is.
Greetings.
So I'm so glad this is here. So magical breakthrough imminent. Now keep in mind, we just found Tariel's body, right? This is the Ebonheart Bellman. So again, he is the court mage for the court of Ebonheart. That's what Tariel did. Our city's community of magical practitioners is abuzz with speculation after Tariel, the court wizard of Ebonheart, was seen excitedly running up the castle stairs carrying a large stack of enchanted scrolls. This follows an extended period of time during which the Argonian had secluded himself in his chambers, supposedly working on a grand experiment. Yali Fyrock, a local enchanter who alerted us to this story, had this to say. Tariel's ideas are sometimes a little over the top, but I hope this discovery of his will jumpstart a new era of magical research and help our city's glory reach new heights. So, very, very funny stuff, guys. Now, this is going to come into play when we get to Old Ebonheart. We are going to be able to let them know what happened to Toriel, and we're going to be able to help out with finding them a new court mage. But I just want to point out that this is where we're at in Morrowind modding. They are building on old lore, and they're building on ways that make sense. I want you guys to think about this, and this is so cool. How they came to the conclusion to make him the court wizard of Old Ebonheart, right? So you've got that going on. Now I want you to look again at Toriel's journal, and the last line of that. We'll see who laughs after I leap to the top of their towers and scream out my success. He's talking about Old Ebonheart and Ebon Tower. That is such a cool detail. This is what I mean when I say that the people who are building out the rest of Morrowind with Tamriel rebuilt, they know this stuff. They know this shit inside and out. They're so good at it. They're so incredibly good at it. And I just love that this game is still 20 years later in the hands of a dedicated group of people that genuinely care about this thing. It's very cool, and I've honestly never seen anything like it before. Now give me 1 second. I'm going to see just how much damage to this run has been done by that muted mic. It just muted itself for no reason. I'm hoping that at least the book got read. That's what I'm hoping. So that's... Okay. Awesome. It got the book. That's all I care about, because you didn't miss any actual lore commentary when I was just hunting mud crabs. So, we're good. Okay. Yeah, just needed to double check that. Okay, so we need to turn in the mud crab meat. Bear with me real quick, it's really fucking hot, and the air conditioner just kicked on. And the vent is right nearby where I'm sitting, sadly. So.
It's a fine day for fishing.
It is, and I've got your bait.
Is that crab meat I smell?
It is!
Fish are going to love it.
We're going to give him the crab meat.
This is good crab meat, thanks. I'm going to use it for bait.
And he paid us literally fucking nothing, by the way. So, this is a good opportunity to discuss another facet of Morrowind's economy, and that is fishing. And that's what we're going to do right now. We are also going to take him up on this. But do we have any bait is the question. We don't. So we'll have to fish at a later time. But I can also fish in Morrowind, thanks to the wonderful work of modders. And we'll be doing that later, once I get some bait.
So
okay.
The Emperor and the Emperor's Law.
So I think that's all of the quests that we're interested in doing at this time. We are going to have a return to Seyda Neen at some point. But I think that's everything at this time we need to do. And so now what we are going to do is we are going to come back through Seyda Neen once we're done with Vivec City. Like I said, a return to Seyda Neen. But for now, it's time for us to head out. We're going to go to Aril's. We're going to get a refill on our bottle. We're going to get a nice hot meal. And then we're heading toward the big city.
Welcome to Aril's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions? Our most popular scrolls?
No, we just want a nutritious meal and a water bottle refill. Oh, which we didn't get. And you know what? We're hydrated. We're not going to hear your loud ass again. So we're just going to get out of here. Okay. Make sure we've got a case of emergency break glass scroll. We've got a couple of gem feeders we can still sell. We've got the unhinging scrolls. We've got a restore health potion. We've got a rising force potion. We're pretty well equipped. We've also got a really neat belt that I call the streamer's dream, which is that we now have Night Eye for 20 points when needed, which is super cool. And a constant effect Night Eye is something we're eventually going to get, just because streaming, when you get into caves, sometimes it's really dark without torches or Night Eye. And then you guys can't
Glory
see.
and honor,
Emperor
Emperor and Empire. I'm on duty. But go ahead.
What assistance do you need?
None. Absolutely none. I'm leaving you guys for now. We're heading to Vivec, where we'll be spending the next 3 hours, probably. Oh! It just struck me, I don't really know how to get to Vivec. I'm new here. We need to go and ask for directions. Alone should be able to tell us. That would have been rather silly, wouldn't it?
Yes, Outlander.
Sure. If you need a good laugh, you're a tall tale.
If you want
You've come
something,
to
now's
right
the time to
place.
talk.
Go ahead. You're not interrupting anything. I'm alone. Scout. You need directions. Pelagiad, Balmora, Caldera, Ebonheart, Vivec.
Vivec, please.
Vivec City is south on the road from Pelagiad. Vivec is the largest settlement on Vardenfell and one of the largest cities in the east. Built on Norvain Bay, completely surrounded by water, the city itself is a group of giant town-sized buildings called cantons. The High Fane and the Palace of Vivec are visited by hundreds of tourists and pilgrims daily. Outlanders mostly confine themselves to the foreign canton, while natives live, work, and shop in the great house compounds and residential cantons.
So we learned a lot from that, actually. So one, we learned directions. It's south of Pelagian. We already know where Pelagian's at, so that makes things a little easier for us. This is one of the largest cities in the east. It's actually built on a large series of cantons. So it's like these giant self-contained town-sized buildings. And it's also where there's a palace and a high fane, which is going to be the high temple. So we also know that Outlanders typically stick to the foreign quarter, which is what we'll probably do for our first time there, as much as we can. But that helps us out a lot with things. It tells us that it's not the most friendly town to Outlanders. It tells us it's a large town, and it tells us that it's going to have a lot of work for us. In fact, one of the things we have to look forward to, judging from our journal, is getting with Kishni and getting that taken care of. So I'm excited. I don't know if y'all are excited, but I'm excited. And of course it's going to be foggy as we march toward Vivec. That's just our luck. I really hope this clears up and fast, Because I want you to see this vista. It's so good. So we're going to follow the signs to Vivec, south of, like I said, south of Pelagia. And I hate when we pick foggy days to travel, man. I hate that. So let's not let the rat go to waste. We'll go ahead and skin him. For a piece of rat pelt. Neat. Oh, damn it, tree. Get out of the way. Ebonheart and Vivec, yep. And as you can see, the Ascadian Isles, a lot more lush than the Bitter Coast. Bitter Coast is kind of swampy and nasty, and still mushrooms here. But now you've got lots of trees, you've got flowers. It's very good stuff. Oh, here's a fun gentleman.
Let me relieve you of the burden of your coin.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. What do you want, sir?
Greetings, my friend. It is I, Nels Lendo.
Okay.
Ah, I see you have heard of me. I am not surprised. No, do not tremble in fear. Nels Lendo is a reasonable man, hardly the cutthroat some would make me out to be. I offer you a fair and healthy proposition. A very simple proposition, actually. You will give me 50 septims, and in return, you will be allowed to continue safely on your journey. Nels Lendo gives you his word as a gentleman that, once our transaction has taken place, you have nothing to fear from me. In fact, I can be a very good friend to have. What say you? I fear you are making an unwise decision, my friend, but so be it, though I hate to soil my clothes with your blood. No matter. Such is the life of Nels Lendo. am an ordinator. We are the dark-skinned, red-eyed, elven people of Morrowind. The Westerners call us Dark Elves, but we prefer to call ourselves Dunmer. Don't fight when you're tired. Don't try to cast spells when you're tired. You'll fail much more often when you're tired. That's why veterans always carry a couple of restore fatigue potions for an emergency. If someone attacks you first, you have the right to defend yourself. If someone doesn't attack you first, you're going to break the law if you attack him.
Very cool stuff. One second here. Oh my God! What is happening with this with this microphone? I don't know. It keeps muting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure what keeps happening here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Because I'm not hearing anything on my stream, guys. Check something here. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, that's good, because I am not sure what's going on, but it is starting to suck. Anyway, what I was trying to explain, and now I'm going to have to go back and explain that again, oh my goodness, is I want you to look at the infrastructure that is keeping Vivec afloat now. We've got giant, and a lot of this was added by mods. So you've got giant aqueducts taking water from the mountains into the city. You have farmsteads that are supplying the city. You have niche ranches and plantations supplying the city. Like, it makes for a much more believable world that you don't just have this giant city with nothing surrounding to support it, right? It's just very cool detail that I really love. The Ordinators were founded by an ancient Endorial family, and they are the stoic guards of the Tribunal Temple that literally wear the face of their namesake, Endorial Nerevar. So, basically they have the mohawk, they've got the stolen face, but their actual mask is modeled on Nerevar's face, which is another kind of very cool detail. And we're going to learn more about them as we trek toward the city. The other thing I wanted to discuss was I was discussing Nels Lindo's lore. So Nels Lindo is a bandit that operates on the lucrative road between Vivec and Pelagiad. And we had to kill him because he tried to rob us, and he's going to factor into our stories of Pelagiad when we get back there. We're going to discuss him and why he was able to operate with such impunity under the eyes of the authorities. I'm going to speculate a little bit when we get there. So I'm pretty excited for that, too, when that happens. But yeah, pretty neat stuff, overall. Yeah, everyone is okay. Well, it's not okay, because I don't like that the mic keeps muting. Because, like, this is my big planned lore stream. So if you're not able to hear the lore, it defeats the fucking purpose of the stream. We might as well not be streaming. So I'm glad it's working now, but if you ever hear silence, I need chat. I really need chat to let me know if you're not hearing my voice, because I should be talking pretty much nonstop this stream. So if you're hearing more than a minute's worth of silence and I'm not in a be right back state, there's a problem, and I need to know about it. Because otherwise you guys are missing the lore that I'm trying to spell out for the city. We also see these large walls. Because the mic's fucking up. The mic has decided to start fucking up royally today for some reason. But yeah, we've got gates. Like, this is everything you would expect from a large city. like a Vivec, or like an Anvil, or like an Almalexia. Like, all the infrastructure is here. Another nice mod adds this Gwar hut right outside of Vivec. So Gwars aren't allowed in the city. That's stated. They're literally not allowed in, and you'll see that when we do one of the quests surrounding the countryside here. But Gwars stay right here. And we might even be able to go in and talk to the stable master.
Wealth beyond measure, Outlander. It's not bad when you know your way around. What are you looking for in Vivec?
Yeah, what do you do, sir? I am Doran Toridim, commoner. What is your trade? I watch the stables and take care of the Gwars. That's it. So yeah, Gwars aren't allowed in the city, and so he watches over people's Gwars that they put here when they're in the city. So there's one path that leads there. Looks like we've got a Silt Strider, and we could have actually taken the Silt Strider straight into here from Seyda Neen, and we have one right here. Also of note is the fact that there's another road that comes off of here, little side path. And if we take this side path down here, this is going to lead us to another bridge heading to more fertile farmlands. And it's going to lead us to our first egg mine, which we're going to go ahead and enter and explore. So this is the Hawia egg mine. This is the egg mine that feeds the city of Vivec. And as you can see, there's an egg crate packed with different Kwama eggs. Barrels as well. And this is one of the ways in which the economy of Vardenfell really, really gets going here. Ooh, that's really steep. Okay. Damn. That is really tight, guys. Might have to toggle collision out of there. There we go. I don't know if we were supposed to come down this way. I don't think we were. I think we whoopsed. I think we goofed. I think we done goofed. I think there was another way we were supposed to go. Yeah. Still, they need to raise that ceiling a little bit. Let's see. Entrance, Vivec. Yeah. Just kind of shows that little bit of economy there. So one of the ways they feed, how do they feed people in Vivec? Kwama eggs, Gwar meat, farming. So farming crops like wick wheat, salt rice. All surrounding Vivec, and of course fishing. Lots of fishing, as you'll see too. And now that we've kind of covered the infrastructure of Vivec City, it's time to enter the city proper. Alrighty, this is the city of Vivec's foreign quarter. This is where they try to keep all of the foreigners. Of course, they've gotten a lot more lax on their policies at this point. So we can't explore the entire city. But I guess now, while we have this beautiful scenery surrounding us, I'll go ahead and tell you the lore behind Vivec City, since we just got here. So, the thing to remember about Vivec City is it is a product of both mythology and history, right? So it's actually a little bit of both, guys. So what is the mythology around Vivec? So and the history, and how do those intersect, and what is the truth from the fiction? Can we separate the fact from fiction? With a city this ancient, it's actually hard. But the question I want to try to answer with this whole thing is exactly when was this city built, right? So, the 36 Lessons of Vivec says the following. Finally, the bones of Horde Mountain landed and became the foundation stones for the City of Swords, which Vivec named after his own sigil. And the net fell across it, and all between, or became as bridges between bones. And since its segments had been touched by his holy wisdom, they became the most perfect of all city streets in the known worlds. For I build for you a city of swords, by which I mean laws, that cut people who live there into better shapes. This is what Vivec tells us in his 36 Lessons of Vivec about the foundation and construction of the city. Okay? So, what is Horde Mountain? Horde Mountain was one of Vivec's monster children that he birthed from his sexual dalliances with Molag Bal. At a certain point, he and Molag Bal had a falling out, and he was able to basically bite off Molag Bal's member. I'm not even kidding you guys. And he took that and fashioned it into a spear called Muatra, which stands for Milk Taker. It was a mythical spear that anything it stabbed was reduced to bones. After cutting off his relationship with Molag Bal, one of the four corners of the House of Troubles, Vivec then tells us that he went to work slaying his monstrous children that were a result of that union. These include famous monsters such as the Ruddy Man, and yes, Horde Mountain. Horde Mountain being the foundation, Horde Mountain's bones being used to build the foundation of Vivec City. So that's the myth. That's the mythology of the City of Swords. But what is the truth? Well, it's kind of complicated, actually. So, we have to look at it like this. We have to try, because there's a dragon break in between this era. We know it was probably sometime in the first era, right? And the reason we know that is because, one, there's a dragon break where we lose about 1,000 years of history. Everybody knows about that. The dragon break, that's pretty common knowledge. Beautiful view. It's a great place for us to have our talk. But if you look at the timeline, you can kind of cut some things off. So keep in mind that when we look at the timeline of the First Era, so 290 First Era, so when we start the First Era, a little after, about 290 First Era, we know that Skyrim conquered all of Morrowind. So Skyrim basically ran Morrowind at that time. This is the time of the Nord Shouting Kings, right? This is Harold Hands-Free. This is Wolfhearth. This is the real heavy hitters of Skyrim. The Shouting Kings before Jurgen Windcaller reformed that whole thing, right? So, we know it wasn't in 290 because Skyrim ruled the entire area. Now, the Nords were pushed out in the year 412 of the First Era, right? And they were pushed out by the Dwarven Chimer Alliance. That was Queen Almalexia, her consort at the time, Nerevar Mora, soon later to be known as Endoriel Nerevar, Lord Endoriel Nerevar, and Dumak Dorforg, which was the king of the non-Rorcan dwarves. These are the dwarves that stayed in their homeland of Vardenfell. Okay? So they pushed the Nords out. Now, I think it is safe to speculate that Vivec was founded after this moment, and quite a lot after this moment. And I think that's easy speculation because Vivec was not a major figure at this time, despite his claims. Now, the temple lies about this a little bit, in terms of we know that it's just mythology, because they actually claim that St. Thelmes fought the Nords off and led the battle against the Nord invasion. And even though he couldn't read or write, he was illiterate, he was able to be guided by the hand of Almsivi. Now, we know that's horseshit, because there was no Almsivi at this time. That predated Almsivi. But I just want to point this out because it's important to look at how the mythology kind of melds with the history, and this is how fact becomes fiction and fiction becomes fact, right? It's that strange unreality of the intersection of mythology and history. And this is not just a Morrowind thing. This happens in our own history, too. Where literally the mythology becomes the story, even if it's not true. Now, let's see here. Pyratosis, Dagathur did nothing wrong. No, Dagathur very much did something wrong, Pyratosis. But we're going to get to him much later. Much later. We're not to Dagathur yet. But at this particular time, Dagathur's not even a factor. We are beyond Dagathur right now. Right? Now that we mention that, we're not going to talk about Dagathur yet, but now we need to talk about First Era 700. The Battle of Red Mountain. Okay? So this is where they fought the Dwemer, and some will say the traitorous House Dagoth, and their Nord and Orcish mercenaries at Red Mountain. And this resulted in the utter disappearance of the dwarfs, the death of Endoril Nerevar, and the ascension of the Tribunal Temple. It's one of the most impactful events in Morrowind's history, and it's an event that we will be discussing constantly as we update what we know about this. But that's basically what the history knows. Is it Battle Red Mountain happens, year 700, First Era, Nerevar dies, the Tribunal ascend to godhood, and the Dwemer disappear from the history at that point. Okay? Now, roughly a few hundred years later, we get the Great Dragon Break of the First Era. Okay? Now, I want to just let you know that I actually think that Vivec City was founded. I think we can speculate, at least especially people skeptical of temple narrative, can speculate and place the founding sometime after this event for, reasons. So we know Vivec was founded after First Era 700. Then we have a dragon break between 1427 First Era and 2200 First Era. So we lose roughly 1,000 years of history almost. So we lose a lot of history where we just don't know anything that happened. It may also have put us in a new timeline. Vivec defenders will say that actually there's two timelines now after that dragon break. So we may be in a space because of the magical nature of dragon breaks where Vivec was both founded after the Battle of Red Mountain, and there could be another dragon break where it actually exists before Red Mountain, is what the Vivec defenders will tell you. But for the sake of simplicity, we're not going to really consider the dragon break because they're kind of bullshit anyway, if I'm being honest with you. They're kind of ass pulls every time they happen to let Bethesda break with previous lore. So now let's look at some other facts we know. And this is where I rest my case on where I think Vivec was founded. So, Pyratosis, you had mentioned in the comment on my preview that you think it was built in the Second Era. I don't think that's correct. And here's why I will tell you why. Okay? So we have the Fourscore War that starts in roughly 2841 First Era. Fourscore War starts, and at the end of that is the death of Remen. That war never touches Vivec City. Now you say, Zoo, what do you mean it never touches Vivec City? We don't have any specific mentions of Vivec City during this time period. That's true. But if you look at the book series, the 12-book series, 2920, if you look at that entire series of the last year of the First Era, it mentions the city of Balmora several times, Balmorra being centuries younger than Vivec. We know this for a fact. So, by the First Era, Balmorra was already established, so we know that Vivec City was established. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. We know for a fact that Vivec was founded in the First Era, sometime after First Era 700, the Battle of Red Mountain, but probably also sometime after or during the Dragon Break. Because we know Balmorra was at least a well-established city in the last year of the First Era. Let's see. Pyratosis says it's an old meme, but it checks out. Roland Lightbane says, if time and the ways of walking are direct capacity and influence of the player, the Dragon Breaks are the direct capacity and influence of the developers within the setting. Very interesting. So yeah, it's the developers' way of being able to just snap their fingers and reset things. Yeah. Essentially, yes, I would agree with that. But our reminiscence on Vivec's history has made things very late, so we need to, one, find a place to stay, and two, suss out some details of the city. Yeah, just an estimated guess. And here's the thing. Actually, what I would tell you, Pyrotos, is it also depends on which lore you're looking at. If you're looking at the totality of the lore, there is a lot of evidence that says that Vivec was founded in the Second Era, because they literally tell you that, which is dumb, and that's why we don't take ESO lore seriously. But if you're looking at the Elder Scrolls Online lore, yeah, a lot of the city's still under construction in the Second Era, which is really funny. My favorite Dragon Break theory is that they aren't actually the really the blades, just covered up all the shady shit they did in the Eliac Bay. I don't think that's actually true, but it's a fun one. Yeah, but that wouldn't explain the First Era Dragon Break, which is the one that we literally know nothing about, the one that Marut caused. Because we lost almost 1,000 years of history in that one. And that's kind of my suspicion, is that sometime in that chaos, Vivec City materialized one way or the other, right? Now, I do think the foreign cantons, the foreign canton is new. I think that's a new aspect to the city. But I think the rest was already pretty much built. We certainly know Vivec's Palace was. We know the High Fane was, and we know the St. Alms and St. Deln Canton were there. And the Arena Canton. We know that's all probably old Vivec. Then, kind of middle Vivec would probably be those Great House Cantons, as probably the Redoran first, for reasons that we'll get into. And then, last but not least, I think you finally add, like, the Halalu, the Telvanni Cantons, as they got a foothold with their ambitious mindsets. And then you get the foreign canton. I do think that the city was built procedurally, but in terms of its founding, I think it was absolutely late First Era, is what I would say. We don't actually know a lot about the Middle Dawn. We know it didn't apply to Morrowind. The Tribunal kept time stable. Oh, do we? Okay. Well, that definitely leads credence to my theory that it was during that Dragon Break that it... That's cool. So there was no Dragon Break for Morrowind during that. That is super cool. Moscow, if you could send me the source for that, that's terrific. I want to read up on that. That's really cool. That's why we like having Moscow here too, guys. Like, that is great fucking information. That's super hype. So we're in the Wasteworks now, so we've got to make our way to a corner club. And we got one here called the Black Shalt Corner Club. It's in Where Were You When the Dragon Broke? Okay, the book, and I know where that book is, actually. So when we get to Balmorra, we're definitely going to read through that book, and we'll kind of amend some of our theories a little bit. That's really fucking cool.
This scent is new.
Oh, what is it? Go away. I got nothing to say to you.
Okay, sir. Kind of a dick move, but okay.
What is it, sir?
Stools make it hard for you to talk to, Rorel.
Good day. I'm Rarel Giral, publican of the Black Shock Corner Club here in Vivec. We rent beds, and I have a limited selection of goods for barter. If you're new here, I can also tell you where to look. It's nearby. If you're looking for someone in particular, I may be able to help.
Okay, good question. Pyritosis, that's a great question. Why didn't they build a sky bridge from the foreign quarter to the Redoran Canton? Because they're racist. That's why. I'm just going to answer that question as plainly as I can. They gave them they are being as unhelpful as possible to the good folks of the foreign canton. So everybody else gets a sky bridge connecting the city. We're only going to give you the land bridge connecting the city because we really, really don't want you here. Like, that is a great, I believe that was a conscious decision by the architects of the city. 100%. Again, speculation. We don't know. But come on, I think we know. Venom probably didn't even want a ground level bridge. He probably fought that shit. Let's leave them floating off on their own. The literal pain in the ass and thighs having to be sent from the top of the foreign quarter to the top of other cantons. Hey, it's good for you. It's workout, right? Get your steps in. Build those calves and those thighs up. Make sure you have those thunder thighs and calves ready to go. So we know where we're staying now. We found a place we're going to stay. But I need to know about Kishti, Rarel. Let's see. I had a playthrough break once when even after I defeated Venom, I couldn't be named Hortinder like he was still alive. God, that sucks. That's a terrible glitch. You were telling me about that, Roland. Yeah. Oh!
Sounds like a Khajiit. Try asking someone else in the foreign quarter.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm asking you. But we need to but we know where we're staying, so we're going to go ahead and rent our room, too, and get a hot meal. Tasty soup, please.
Yes, we have one available. It's 10 gold for the rest of the day. Do you want it?
Yes. We'll be back
Great.
for it.
The bed is yours. Enjoy your stay.
So now we've secured lodging. We could ask about the foreign quarter a little bit. And we can see if we can't track down Kishni.
The foreign quarter is the large 3-tiered canton to the north. Originally, foreigners were not allowed to enter Vivec any further than the foreign quarter. But now, outlanders can travel throughout Vivec at will. The Imperial guilds each have guild halls and complete services here. And an Imperial cult shrine serves the spiritual needs of the Imperial faithful. Various independent tradesmen, craftsmen, and trainers also rent space here. The Black Shock Corner Club rents beds to non-guild visitors.
So we just got a lot of information, guys. So it was forbidden for us to travel further into the city at first. Now, when did this change? Let's speculate on that. I'm going to suppose that changed a few years into the Imperial colonization efforts. Essentially, they couldn't keep the Empire out forever, and it became too hard to fight to bother with once Outlanders actually established a full presence on the island. So as they encroached further and further into the politics of the island, I think that opened up due to pressure from the Empire. I think that's pretty good speculation, at least for me. In before you can fly, can't you? I cannot yet, but we're working on that. We're working on that. That's hopefully one of the things we're going to solve with training here. Also, there's a lot of wealth here in Vivec that we're going to try to penetrate, and I'm very excited to start doing that. Let's see, maybe Jobasha will have a copy of Where Were You When the Dragon Broke? Yeah, we're going to look into that, too. We're definitely, if he's got a copy, we'll buy a copy, because we're pretty loaded right now. But he's told us a lot about the whole thing there. He's also told us that the guilds have a presence now. So we've got complete presence of guild halls. We can start to get some work if we want. Do you have any advice for me? Because you've been very helpful.
Vivec is huge. It is easy to get lost. But if you observe the law, you can't get into much trouble. My advice is wander freely. Learn your way around. See what the craftsmen and traders have to sell. See the sights the pilgrims come to see.
Okay.
The Ministry of Truth, the High Fane, the Palace of Vivec. And while you're here, go take a tour of Ebonheart, the imperial town across the lagoon to the west. A lot to see and do over there, too.
Let's see. Moscow says, also, I personally think that Vivec's cantons were probably built around the same time as each other, but were repurposed. I like that speculation. So maybe not built procedurally, but just kind of repurposed for whatever was needed at the time. Because they even said that, like, I know there's lore too. We haven't come across it yet, but I know it's also said that they rent out the cantons to other folks. So, for example, they pay rent to the temple, the Halalu, the Redoran. They pay rent to the temple. So I actually think that leans toward repurposing. And they do seem modular, like Roland Lightbane said. Yeah. 100%. 100%, guys. This is good. This is really good. Any secrets you want to share?
They say a vampire can hide among us. Nonsense. One look at the face and you know a vampire. You can't disguise that. You can wear a helmet. But here in Morrowind, we don't trust anyone who won't take off a helmet in public. In Morrowind, someone like that is looking to spend some time in a big, hot fire.
We've just stumbled across some really interesting lore here. So in Morrowind, they don't buy the bullshit that vampires can hide among you. You have never met a Vampirium Order vampire, though, Werrell. What I would tell you is it really depends on what kind of vampire strain we're talking about. The mouthful of tusk-like teeth, fucking Molag Bull monsters that are the Vardenfell strains? Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to be able to hide. But in Cyrodiil, there is a strain of vampirism that is the Vampirium Order strain, and their whole thing is being able to hide amongst you. That's their whole thing. So he's wrong. He is completely wrong there, and this is what I mean by you're talking to a bunch of unreliable narrators. And you have to consider that when you consider Morrowind's story. He's right in Vardenfell. He's wrong when it comes to all vampires. Let me amend that, Moscow says. I think that the Halalu Canton and potentially Telvanni Canton might be newer than the rest, with how they are awkwardly attached to the sides. To the sides, yeah. Services here. Where do we get services here?
Every canton has its own services. If you're with an Imperial Guild, go to the Foreign Quarter. If you serve a great house, go to the Hlalu Compound, Redoran Compound, or Telvanni Compound. If you belong to the Temple, go to the High Fane. Beyond that, there are many independent smiths, traders, alchemists, clothiers, booksellers, craftsmen, tradesmen, and trainers of all sorts in all the cantons. You just have to look around.
Fair. Market Canton seems right, yeah. Yeah, whereas the Redoran, Arena, Foreign, Saints, and Temples cantons all follow a pattern, yes. With Foreign Quarter probably originally being the Market Canton or something, since it's right up at the entrance, yeah. I think that's probably right. I don't think it would have been named for a saint, since the Dunmer would refuse to rename it if it was. Correct. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a saint canton. Roland Lightbane says that would follow from a primarily religious city that then goes on through imperial conquest to serve as a major commercial and political hub. Yes. But I think we've learned everything we need to learn from this guy for now. We could just ask about Vivec real quick.
Vivec is a city made up of 9 cantons, each a little town in itself. Each great house has its own canton, and Outlanders have their own canton called the Foreign Quarter. The arena is for public entertainments like mock battles and comic plays. Commoners and paupers live in St. Delin and St. Olm's cantons, but most of all, this is Lord Vivec's holy city. The Ministry of Truth, the Temple Prison, hangs above the great temple of the High Fane, the halls of wisdom and justice, and Lord Vivec's palace.
Yeah, we gotta go see that too. Alright.
I don't care, Enwa. Just leave me alone.
You guys are not very nice, man.
Wealth beyond measure, I'm sorry, but I cannot speak with you. I am preoccupied with my own affairs.
These people are all bastards in here except the very nice owner. Let's get out of here. We'll come back when we gotta sleep. Before we talk to an ordinator, let's check that bounty. We've been very lucky. So, oh, bounty 83. Okay, we did get a bounty added. We can't talk to him now. Okay.
Welcome to Vivec. I'm sure you have some questions. What would you like to know?
Looking for Kishni. Sounds familiar, but I don't know her. Maybe another Khajiit could tell you. Let's go book shopping. Yeah, we can go book shopping. Oh, you got called the N-word. Nuclear? Yeah, I did. Yeah, we don't need any of that. That guy's a racist. Did we expect anything different? Those are three of the biggest racists in Morrowind. There's a great Mickey D scream you guys should see, though. If you don't watch Mickey D, you should. But I think it was Mickey D who screamed. Yeah, he'll know about Kishni. Good idea. We can get the book and talk and ask him. Yes. Great idea, Moscow. But to address this, the three racists that are in the Black Shark, like, yeah, man. Like, there's this great stream, and I've always had to fight them. Either I typically can convince them to back off. Sometimes I'll just get mad because I just get tired of their racism. And I just stab them in the face. But there's a really funny stream. I think it was Mickey D. And he was just streaming, and he couldn't convince them because his speechcraft was dog shit, and he didn't have any gold. And so he's like, you know what? I would fight, but I don't think we have to because of the way the game's mechanics work. Bye, racist. And he just exits the combat where he says travel together to Halea. They start to fight. They raise their fists and pull their weapons out. And Mickey D just goes to the door and exits, and nobody follows him because of the way the fucking game works. And it's so, I laughed. I died. I laughed for so many, I don't know how long I sat there and laughed. But just him, like, turning and leaving while these angry Dunmer are behind him and saying, bye, racist, was just the funniest shit in the world to me. Like, good job on that. Okay, we gotta find Jabasha. Jabasha's rare books. This bookstore is probably one of my favorite places in all of Morrowind, guys. Like Moscow said, this is where you come for the deep lore. And we're going to kind of peruse his books because we can probably find a lot of stuff on Vivec here. Hey, Jabasha. No, don't need to be scared. I'm not like those other assholes. Greetings, how goes it? Well, I'm going to buy some books from you, buddy, but tell me about yourself. You seem interesting. I am Jabasha, bookseller. In your trade?
Jobasha reads books, buys books, sells books. What more can Jobasha say? Jobasha knows a little about everything. So you ask, and maybe Jobasha will talk.
Coolness. Well, I did have a question. Do you know who Kishni is?
Jobasha did not tell you this, but Jobasha says you should sniff around Simin for any shop in the canal works. On the east side.
Jabasha, thank you so much. East Side Canal Works, guys. Tell me, what do you think? What brings a Khajiit to Morrowind? I'm curious.
How do you like it here?
Good. I'm just very curious to see you having this bookshop here, but maybe you're not ready to open up about that. We'll have more talks on that later when I've gained a little bit more trust. So he's got the full fucking dance in the fire. This guy is so lit. He's got the full dance in the fire. Yeah, I like Jabasha. Always has good books and clean and dry fur. Yeah, he's awesome. He's the best. A Dunce in Morrowind. I kind of want to read that. That sounds hilarious. All 6 volumes. Oh my god. No, like 8 volumes of that. It's on the short history of Morrowind. Aedra and Daedra. Arcade the Enemy, which is literally an illegal item. Hilarious. Ashland Hymns. He's got Biography of Baron Zaya. 3 volumes. All 3 of those. Blasphemous Revenants, Boethiah's Glory, Book of Life and Service, Book of Rest and Endings. He's got History of the Empire. Brown book, I think that's either Redoran or Telvanni. Cherum's Heart of Anaquina. Chronicles of Nukulith, that's a rare book. Common Jokes and Riddles. Confessions of a Skooma Eater, that's pretty good. I've always found it funny there's an ordinator here in front of the illegal books. I've always felt like the ordinator was there sort of as a threat to Jabasha. Yes, absolutely. And then they tell him, for your safety. Yeah, corpse preparation books. Brown book is Telvanni, yeah. Telvanni counselors. Daedric for Dunmer. I like that. ABC's for Barbarians and Daedric for Dunmer. That's really funny there. Exclusive scroll. Famed Artifacts of Tamriel. Hey, Master Nathan, welcome in. Fellowship of the Temple, which we've read on stream. He's got all 3 Fae Falcons? Thing is, though, Vivec is a temple city under temple law. The ordinators are allowed to kill people for heresy inside it. Yeah, I mean, but keep in mind that can and should are 2 separate things, right? So, yeah, they can kill with impunity, but at a certain point, especially if you're a popular abolitionist like Jobasha, politically it would be pretty unfeasible for them to do that without having a huge political shitstorm with the Empire, right? So, yeah, they absolutely can. But, man, I don't know if they would. Everyday ordinators probably don't know what to look for as far as heretical books. It depends. Some of those ordinators are actually priestly scholars as well. If anything, being a popular abolitionist makes it more likely they'd want to kill him for doing something else illegal. Yeah, but not with an ordinator, Moscow. Like, that's a political shitstorm. Maybe hire the Morag Tong to do it. But yeah, the Empire couldn't complain too much if they arrested him for those necromancy books. They couldn't, but keep in mind that necromancy is legal under Imperial law. So it could, again, it's that gray area. It's like this, when you exercise soft power, this is just a principle of power exercising in general. You always have to ask the question, unless you're going into like a full fascist mode. And I will tell you the Tribunal Temple is gearing up towards that, but they're not quite there yet. For example, they don't super move on you as the Nerevarine either. They kind of watch with curiosity for the same reasons. At a certain point, it's just not worth the shitstorm. Let it play out. If you're going to fail, you're going to fail anyway, right? It's clear Jobasha likes to dance close to the fire, so to speak. He does. He sure does. But not under temple law. The Imperials have to follow the armistice as well. Moscow, I get that, but you have to understand the Empire is a ferocious force of their own might, both politically, economically, militarily, and you see many, many instances, and we'll go over that in exhaustive detail. I'm going to show you. I will show you that there are numerous instances of the fact that when the temple or the houses could do something, and they don't. And there are reasons for that. They could do, absolutely could do it. They absolutely could do it, but they don't. And I do think Jobasha is one of those reasons. Now, I think it could be possible that one day Jobasha goes too far, and they're not left with a choice, and now the choice is it's better to endure the shitstorm than to endure Jobasha's books, but I just don't think we're there yet. Let's see, which makes him a badass. Yes, we love Jobasha. We stand Jobasha in this stream. There's a really fun quest near Narcissus called the Ring of Stink. That sounds awesome, Bob Grimes. I want this Ring of Stink. Anyway, let's continue our appraisal of his offerings. 5 Kings, Songs of King Wolfhearth. That's got some lore in it, too, that has to do with Morrowind and the Battle of Red Mountain. That's kind of a different take on it, which is really cool. Fragment on Artaeum, Frontier Conquest, Galarian the Mystic, Grasping Fortune, Great Houses of Morrowind. This guy's got a lot of useful stuff to us that we're probably going to grab, honestly, as a new person here. Hanan's Wake. Ooh, that's a deep cut. Homilies of Blessed Almalexia, Insults of the Dunmer, Invocation of Azura, Last Scabbard of Akrash. He's got some really good skill books, too. Legions of the Dead, Lives of the Saints, Mages Guild Charter, Map of the Telvanni Isles is cool. Maps of Vardenfell, 500, damn. Mara's Tear, Master Zoram's Tale, Mysticism, another illegal item, Nagasta, Kavata, Kavakis. Now, Jobashi, you're kind of bullshit for selling that one. I'm not going to lie, dude. Like, that's a slowed book. And we do not stand the slowed on Flipping the Swit channel. So, I got to tell you, buddy, you just lost brownie points for that one. Does anybody have a defense of Jobasha selling slowed crap? Boo! Also, Ordinators can and do kill people associated with the Empire for heresy. They will attack you after you have Moon and Star, even though they know you're a Blades agent. I guarantee killing an agent of the Blades is a bigger political shitstorm than a Khajiit bookseller. Well, it could be and couldn't be, right? Because does the Empire want to admit you're an agent of the Blades? Kind of not in this circumstance. This is kind of a down low thing. Like, they can accuse you of being an agent of the Blades. The Empire's going to be like, nah, we don't know what you're talking about, man. Because that's kind of a break of the armistice in some ways. So I don't know if the Empire would cop to it. That's the thing, right? Like, you can suspect, but we're not going to admit to that. But you're right. Like, if it's an open agent of the Blades, like, say, the guy serving in Old Ebonheart Tower, where he's an honor guard, if they kill that guy, yeah, big political shitstorm. If they kill you, or Caius, they're just going to be like, hey, you killed a skooma addict. Like, what do you do? It had nothing to do with us. They wouldn't admit it, but they also wouldn't be able to do nothing. Yeah, there might be some sabotage or something, but yeah, publicly it's not going to result in anything, no. And being able to and being a viable narrative arena, being directed by Almsivi to take you out is a way different situation. Yeah. It's a rare book, isn't it? Jobasha's rare books. It's a slowed book. We don't like the slowed. Jobasha also shouldn't like the slowed. They're slavers. And they're the worst kind of slavers. They cut up their slaves. So I don't know about that, Jobasha. Like, have you met a slowed, my dude? Like, they're not good people. They're not even people. And it's also not that rare. Yeah, and it's a slowed book. I'm very offended. I don't like the slowed. On Morrowind, on Oblivion. Origin of the... there's like 12 copies of the damn thing. Every necromancer on Vardenfell has one. Racist much? Yeah, against the slowed? Yes. Yes. And I'm not alone in that. It's basically the opinion of all of Tamriel. They literally killed half the population with a plague? Fuck the slowed. They're not even people. No, they're slowed. They're slugs. They're Molech Ball worshipping slugs. They're Namira worshipping slugs. Check UESP 15 set spawns. It can be random loot. Zoo has been possessed by the ancestor ghost of Bendu Olo. Yeah, in this case, yeah. I've seen what the slowed do. I don't like slavery. The slowed are slavers. And they're necromancers. They cut their slaves up for experiments. They grind the remains of people into dust and they get them hooked on fucking necromantic drugs. They're awful. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. Just a little trolling. No, I'm playing into it. I'm playing at Bogart. But no, I will lean in hard against the slowed. Yes. The slowed, until I meet one that's not a piece of shit, and that hasn't happened yet, the guy in Abekian Shores attacks you immediately. Doesn't even talk to you. Sucks. The guy in Redguard sucked. Was literally trying to soul trap an entire town. Sucks. The slowed who did the Thracian Plague sucked. They sucked so bad, guys, that the Drew and the Lamia joined in that fleet, that navy, to go attack the slowed. How the fuck are you going to fuck up so bad that you get the Drew and the Lamia to join in the fleet against you? How? How does that happen? Abekian Shores slowed was just following Cyrodic stand your ground laws. You broke into his dilapidated fort. Technicality. The guy in Narcissus is a fucking drug dealer. And I'm talking about, like, necromantic mind control drugs. Like, not like, hey, I'm just chilling and smoking some skooma drugs. Like, they just all seem to be Molag Ball assholes. He's an entrepreneur. Okay, he's creating jobs. This devil's advocacy for the Slode is too much. I can't believe there are so many Slode apologists here. Anyway, let's see. Nuchunak's Fire and Faith, Old Man in the Ashlands. Nagasta was aligned with Clavicus Vile, actually. Oh, was he? Okay, because I know that their primary worship is a Molag Bal and Namira. But yeah, who's to say they can't take other Daedric lords on, right? Wasn't he a worm cultist? Yes, he was both, because he had a deal with Clavicus Vile, and he was also a worshipper of Mannimarco. Another famous piece of shit. Let's see here. Old Man of the Ashlands. Some of these books look really interesting. We're going to have to come back here. The Slode was hooking everyone on Grey Dust. Yeah, Grey Dust sucks. It's like a necromantic fucking... Ugh. It's bad stuff. Oh, God, he's got 1,000 gold. That's awesome. I'll remember that. He's got both Palas. He got Progress of... He's got some good stuff, man. Oh, my God, does he have some good stuff. We're looking for a specific book. We're looking for The Dragon Broke. Where were you? Is what we're looking for. We'll have to come back here and peruse. There. Oh my God. He has it. He has it, chat. Okay. Let's dive into this. Let's dive. I'm super pumped right now. Where were you when the dragon broke? Okay. So, Korak, Cyrodiil, Elder Council. No one understands what happens when the Selective danced on that tower. It would be easy to dismiss the whole matter as nonsense were it not for the Amulet of Kings. Even the Elder Scrolls do not mention it. Let me correct myself. The Elder Scrolls cannot mention it. When the Moth Priests attune the scrolls to the timeless time, their glyphs always disappear. The Amulet of Kings, however, with its Oversoul of Emperors, can speak of it at length. Is anybody else understanding this gibberish so far? According to Hestra, Cyrodiil became an empire across the stars. According to Shorel, Cyrodiil became an egg. Okay, this I'm understanding a little more. Most say something in a language they can only speak sideways. The council has collected texts and accounts from all of its provinces, and they only offer stories that ever coincide, save on one point. All the folk of Tamriel during the Middle Dawn, and whatever when they were caught in, tracked the fall of the 8 stars, and that is how they counted their days. It's Kirkbride. I know. We are really getting into some fucking esoteric shit here. Mera Nabisi Dunmer, Triune, mistress of the New Temple. Accounts of the Middle Dawn are the province of the Empire of Men, and proof of the deceit that call themselves the Aedra. 8 stars fell on Tamriel, one for each iniquity that Lorkhan made clear to the world. Veloth read these signs, and he told Boethia, who confirmed them, and he told Mephala, who made wards against them, and he told Azura, who sent Omsivi to steer the true folk clear of harm. Even the 4 corners of the House of Troubles rose to protect the periphery of your madness. We watched our borders and saw them shift like snakes, and saw you run around in it like the spirits of old, devoid of math, without your if-thens, succumbing to the ever, now like slaves of the slim folly, stasis. Do not ask us where we were when the dragon broke. For all the world, only we truly know, and we might just show you how to break it again. Okay. When did Veloth die? I'm calling bullshit on this entire account. This is more Dunmer bullshit, I feel like. So I'm not going to accept this account. Let me show you why, guys. Give me 1 second here. Okay. When did Veloth die? The death of Veloth, the prophet of the Chimer, is not explicitly stated in the lore of the Elder Scrolls. His exodus from Somerset Isle is described in various texts, with some placing it in the Dawn era and others in the Merithic era, the Middle Merithic. While the exact date of his death is not given, let's see here, states that one source puts the exodus in the Dawn era, while others place it in the Merithic era. Let's just look at the lore of Veloth real quick. This is prior to First Era. This is horseshit. Yeah, no. Okay, let's see here. Back to stream, let's see. Veloth's death isn't well attested, but also, we know it's Merithic era. We know it's either Dawn or Merithic. Probably Merithic, if I had to guess. He's a Dunmer. His ghost can be communed with. Well, Chimer actually, but same difference. You know what? I'll accept that. That's true. That's true. So, yeah, he could have, basically, Veloth could have let them know, hey, here's what's going to happen, guy. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, I get that, for sure. And with the power of the Tribunal, yeah, I can see them being able to do that, combined with knowing that it was going to happen through Veloth. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. That's all we really wanted out of this. We'll read this again when we come across it in the Mages Guild book. But I just wanted to read that Dunmer account for now. We'll go ahead and sell that back to him, because we know where a copy of that book is. There you go. And Kishney. We need to find Kishney now. Yeah, same difference. I agree. Yeah, here's a fucking asshole ordinator.
What is it?
Watching our boy Jabasha. Get out of my way. Not appreciated. Very rude. Okay, Eastern Canal side. The Khajiit also make the claim that the Middle Dawn didn't mess with them because they could read time with the lattice. That's probably true, too. To be honest. The Khajiit have some crazy powers, actually. They've got some wild stuff.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Which is interesting because the main Khajiit deities are associated with the Lattice are 2 of the 3 good Daedra. Yeah, it does seem like the Daedra did take an interest in that dragon break, it would seem. If those accounts can be believed. And I am erring on the side of maybe. Now, they said the east side canal works, so we need to cross the way here. It's the whole reason we're here in Vivec City. For Kishney. Let's see here. We're looking for a bookstore. Another bookstore. There it is. Yep. Almsivi, Varanus Davris. I'm Samine Frayling. Don't worry, Vivec can be confusing to us, and we live here. Is there some specific place you want, or someone in particular you're trying to find? Yes, looking here for Kishney.
Kishney? Haven't you heard about... I mean, she's here, but she's in the back room. You can't go in there.
Fucking watch me, dude. But maybe we can do some convincing. Let's let our stamina gauge build up.
Friend.
I don't want to break in if I don't have to. I would much rather just talk him out of like unlocking the door. Because if I break in, they might be mad at me. And I don't want them to be mad. I just want what I was promised by Kishney. I rescued her.
Do I drop the sweet roll, or hand it over and come back later? Dunno.
You always fight over the sweet roll, Sameen. Never let them take the sweet roll from you. Punch them in the fucking face. Okay, let's try it.
Don't try to butter me up.
Alright, well. That's pointless. When I've got the security chops I have, that's fucking pointless. Is there anybody else that literally lockpicks the actual lock sometimes like I do? I can't be the only one that tries to do that. Can't be.
Sarah?
Kishni!
How can I be of service
This
to you,
one
Outlander?
helps Kishni very much. Speak with Kishni's husband, Arandamo, and he will reward you.
Okay.
Baby Kishni is not married in the eye of the divines, but Arandamo is Kishni's. He is so brave and works very hard. He makes Kishni work hard to be a thief. Thank you. Now Kishni will be well cared for and not working in the fields. Or worse.
And you don't need any more help?
Yes, you freed Kishni, and now Kishni's husband is teaching the thief trade. Kishni works very hard to be a good thief and a good wife.
Anything else you want to tell me about yourself? I'm glad I was able to help you.
Kishni was born on the Dren plantation, sold and sold and sold and sold to Mistress Dratha and given to Jolda, but Kishni was no good at mixing or crushing, and so much makes Kishni sneeze. And Jolda did not want a slave. Then Arandamo came to scam a shipment of void souls. Kishni liked to see Arandamo in his fancy clothes. So Kishni followed all the way to Vivec.
I really like this story. So Kishni was a slave that was born on the Dren plantation, which is in the Acadian Isles. It's close to Pelagiad, right? She gets sold, ends up with Mistress Dratha, which is the man-hating Telvanni counselor. Like, she just hates men's guts. Mistress Dratha didn't want her, giving you to Jolda. Jolda didn't want her because when she was mixing, she would sneeze into the fucking potions. And so finally said, you know what, you're free. Get out of here. Now, I'm not too much keen on Jolda. Jolda, I believe, is a Red Guard, and why a Red Guard would own a slave, kind of bullshit. I get that it's legal in Morrowind, still kind of horseshit, right? But Jolda said, get out of here, you're sneezing in the potions. And so she was just, had nothing to do, just kind of chilling. And Aaron Tomo shows up, and she liked his fancy clothes and followed him back to Vivec. That's an amazing story, guys. And this game has hundreds of those amazing stories. That is so awesome. So there is a lesson to be learned here. If you are a slave in Morrowind and you're not with some cruel bastard like Orvis Dren, just be the worst possible slave you can be. Be bad at everything. Just be fucking terrible at everything. And eventually you'll get to some outlander who's just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this shit. Get out of here. Go on. Go. And that's how you get your freedom in Morrowind. Fucking outrageous. All right, what we got here?
Thank you for bringing Kishni back to me. I do not know you, but gold is always welcome, as they say. This is a trifle compared to what Kishni is worth to me.
600 gold, playa. That's awesome. I have some upsetting news about this, Khajiit. Oh, no. Okay, I'm all ears.
Isn't she wonderful? She is so fast and confident and graceful. So, unlike me, I'm sure my father wouldn't approve, but I just don't care.
Upsetting news, but Vardenfell was only opened up 13 years ago, Zoo. Okay. What am I missing here? I'm probably just not putting my thinking thoughts together here. Are you saying she wasn't born on the Drin plantation? Open 13 years. She was born on... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if it opened up... I see what you're saying. And also, I don't know if Drin was here 13 years ago. In fact, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Yeah, Drin Plantation can't be older than 13 years. So, we got an unreliable narrator situation then. That's what we have. Oh. Oh my God. Either an unreliable narrator or a teenager, and I'm assuming she's not lying about where she was born. Fuck. That is dark, brother. And now she's married to this fucking guy. Wow. Douglas? A word, please, Douglas. Douglas, can I have a word with you, Mr. Goodall? That's fucking hideous. And then this guy's be like, oh, she's wonderful. She's so fast and confident and graceful. My father wouldn't approve. I'm just going to hope that Douglas Goodall forgot that Vardenfell was a frontier when writing afresh. Yeah. I mean, it does make internal consistency sense with how Khajiit are treated, but that's fucking dark. That's fucking dark. I'm just gonna kind of sit with that for a second, because yikes. So basically, we just saved this Khajiit from a life of re-slavery and put her into some creepy marriage with some creepy Dunmer weirdo. That's what we actually did here. That sucks. Moss Cow, I'm gonna start calling you Buzz Killington. Damn, I thought we'd done something good. You need to leave him, Kishni. You need to leave now.
I like your style, Enwa. Here's a tip. Propylon. Ever been in a Dunmer stronghold? Have you seen the Propylon chambers with the two big stone pillars? They're transportation devices, except you need a key to use them. A tiny little thing called a Propylon index. A guy tried to sell me one. Wanted a fortune for it, so I told him to blow. Later, I hear this guy went to a Daedric shrine called Malkashishi and forgot to come back. So maybe the Propylon index went there with him and stayed.
Okay. So this guy is kind of a... Now, Crazy Legs Aaron Tomo, we don't quite know who this guy is yet, but he's going to be a gold mine of jobs and opportunities for us. We are going to be revisiting him as we play over and over again. This guy has suddenly become very important with the application of mods like Afresh and Tamriel Rebuild. And it makes sense when you know who he actually is.
I'm Crazy Legs Arantimo. I do a little of this, a little of that.
Do you have any work for me since I rescued Kishni? Anything you could use for somebody who's capable?
I can't give you jobs if you're not in the guild. You want to join the Thieves Guild?
Yes?
Maybe we could use you. Talk to Gentleman Jim Stacy in Simon Fralini's shop.
Who's Gentleman Jim Stacy again?
Look around, fool.
Oh, I just helped you. You don't have to be so rude. But we got Crazy Legs. We got Jim Stacy, and is that what I think it is? Is that Daedric? Jim, stand still for a second, buddy. That's Daedric. That's a Daedric weapon. God damn, dude. You're doing pretty good. Are you looking for me? You want to join the Thieves Guild? Well, tell me about yourself, Jim.
That's me. What is it?
Okay, or not. Kishni?
She's with Arantimo. Are you the one who freed her? I'm sure she'll want to thank you.
And the Thieves Guild. You look like you may have some skill. You want to join? Or maybe you want to know what we're all about. Yeah, I'll hear the rules.
Just remember there is honor among thieves. Do not steal from a brother thief. Everyone else is a mark. Do not attack a brother thief. Do what you will to everyone else. If you have a price on your head, we have ways of taking care of it. If you break these rules, you must speak with one of the masterminds here in Morrowind to regain your good standing. Think you can handle it?
Yes. You are now a toad in the Thieves Guild. Welcome, Brother Vernus Davris. Talk to me when you want some odd jobs to do, and when you think you're ready for advancement. If you have a price on your head, there are those you can talk to as well. Yeah, that would be very useful for a character like me. So, who do I talk to? There are those that can take care of that. We can explain more to you about that later. Well, I want to know about that now. Okay, what's the rules? Remember, there is honor among thieves. Yeah, I got that. Yes, Toad, what do you need to know? I guess jobs.
I've heard you're a promising young member, but I'd like to see you a bit more seasoned. Come talk to me when you're a captain. Until then, practice your skills, and talk to Big Halende, Habasi, or Engoth. They've generally got work that needs to be done.
Okay.
Gentleman Jim Stacy, at your service. I'm in the guild.
Well, word on the street is that you've got some bounty on your head. As you're a Thieves Guild member in good standing, I should be able to fix that for a discounted amount of gold. Sound fair to you?
Yes, let's do it.
Smart thinking. I'll take care of everything.
You're awesome. Any advice you have for me? The town of Balfoyen on the mainland is a Kimona Tong's turf. We're about to change that situation. Want to lead, Toad? I'm responsible for the special job to return the Morrowind Thieves Guild to Balfoyen. If you're looking for help, you'll fit in just well. Not yet.
That's not a problem.
Because that's going to take us to a different city that we're not exploring the lore of yet. But we'll come back. So he's offered us a special chain of jobs that'll get us onto the mainland, but not yet. We're going to go at this time. It's 11 p.m. It's bedtime. So we're going to rest, and then we're going to get back to exploring Vivec City. All this fresh water that comes from the aqueduct goes all the way through here, and then as the water is used, it's recycled, and used water exits into the ocean. An absolute marvel of engineering, this city. And then we've also got, this is the water treatment cistern.
Speak quickly.
Where they treat it, very cool stuff. We're not going to, but this is just kind of goes over where they treat the water supply. Oh, do we have waters of glory? Yes, we have waters of our, we sure do.
You'll get more than you bargained for.
We sure do.
The prey approaches.
And that's something we'll definitely be exploring later. But for now, it is time to rest.
Quickly, Outlander. I don't have much time. I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick. Please. Good day. I'm Rero Giral, publican of the Black Shop Corner Club here in Vivec. We rent beds, and I have a limited selection of goods for barter. If you're new here,
no, we've already
I can
got a
also
bed.
tell you where to look for other services or a specific place nearby.
Nope, no thank you. We're just going to go turn in.
Wealth beyond measure.
God, we move so slow. We got to sell some loot, too, while we're here. Yes, sirree. I rented a room. What the fuck did... Are you serious, man? Wow. Well, I'm not paying again. Fuck you, dude. I'm not paying again. Fuck. Are you fucking kidding me?
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick.
You gotta be shitting me right now. I paid for a room and they're both still locked. Oh my god, and the locks for the room is too complex. I fucking hate these guys, man. Everybody in here is a piece of trash. He's gonna make me pay again. He's gonna literally make me pay again. Probably because it's midnight. Yeah, because it's midnight. What a fucking asshole.
What is it, Sarah? Good day. I'm Rero Giral. Yes, we have one available. Great. The bed is yours. Enjoy your stay.
You're a piece of shit. Taking advantage of a fucking naive Outlander like that. Wow. I would like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. Oh no! Oh shit. Well, the good news is at least we didn't do a whole lot since my last save, but I know I saved pretty soon, so. Again, gotta save before you sleep. With something, there's something I've got that's fucking everything up with that. This might be a good time to end it because we've already covered a lot of Vivec. We can do more once I redo it. I'll log back in, redo it. That way, depending on how far away I am, man. Because it might be a little while. But yep, still haven't learned to F5. Still haven't learned to save. Now it's not even wanting to capture the screen right. There it comes, okay. Oh, man. That sucks. I wanted to go at least another hour and a half. Try to make these around 4.5 hours each was the goal, but crashes will vary those times. Well, now you can at least see my 1 pound pillow. Yes. Let's take a look at that. Oh my god. Yeah, that's fucking huge. That is a Morrowind pillow if I've ever seen one. That's good stuff. Alright, yeah, definitely. I could see that. Oh, let's see where we're at. We'll see if we're into a little early today. These are going to be a weekend thing too, by the way, so don't expect these on weekdays because I just don't have time on the work week. But on weekends, we'll do these big lore throughs of this character. We got to get back to my adventuring with Phil, too. So we'll probably do some Morrowind with Phil, maybe sometime Monday through Friday. Then I'll also be playing Void Stranger, playing Deltarune. UFO 50 is a game I want to show off to you guys. I think you guys are going to like that. Fear and Hunger. When the mood strikes, when I feel particularly dark, we'll play Fear and Hunger. So, I've got plans. I do have plans. But these particular streams are going to be a weekend thing, when I can actually devote the time to researching lore and kind of discussing theory, and I have the time to sit down and just have a conversation with you guys about this stuff, instead of just playing the shitpost. That's the plan, Stans. Alright. Let's look at that save. Autosave is... Oh, wow. Yeah, nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that'll be the end of this stream, guys. I'll get caught up for next weekend. So we'll be back in the Black Shark Corner Club room by the end of the weekend. And I'll go ahead and write down what we've done here. That way I don't forget, and I'll get it all done. That way we're consistent. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Next time, we deep dive a little bit further into Vivec and its religious lore. Take care now. Did we just lose? We lost hard, Moscow. We lost hard. Yeah, that's about the last hour and 45 minutes of progress. No, we didn't lose the entire stream. Nope. We're going to be right back where we. So again, I'll say it again. We're going to be right back where we started next stream, but I've got a lot of replay to do. I've got basically from the Ogrim, for my riddle challenge with the Ogrim, all the way to the Black Salt Corner Club has to be replayed. It's a lot of replay. So we're going to do that, but when I get back, I'm not putting you guys through that, because it's already lore we've discussed. We've dusted it off. It's done. We buried it. We're going to start fresh next Saturday morning, and we're going to start with Black Salt Corner Club's room, where I slept. Alrighty. Take care, guys.